Hi boys and girls, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend. It was a special weekend and I hope you had some fun with your families. So I wanted to tell you about one of my favorite artists, and I hope you watch the video that's included in our classroom. It's the artist Jackson Pollock. He's a postmodern artist. He was an amazing painter and he painted abstract art. He was one of the first artists, well, the first artist, the inventor, if you will, of something called action painting. And you'll recognize this art right away because it's so different, it's so unique, and everyone's always fascinated by the special way that he paints. So you're going to need some materials. You'll need some paint. I picked a few colors. You can pick any colors you want, okay? I picked some pink, blue, red, and black. I have a little bit of water in a cup. I have a straw, I have a small paintbrush, and a really big fat paintbrush. And a nice big piece of paper. This piece of paper is not big enough. So in my directions, I advise you to make sure you have a nice, big, wide open area to do this action painting. I would think the best place to do it would be outside. So you may want to wait for a day where you can go outside where there's nice weather. Maybe your family has like a huge piece of what they call painter's tarp or painter's plastic, and they're willing to lay it out in a very specific place, maybe in your garage, your basement, but you need a big area to do this art project, okay? So outdoors works great because, hey, if you get a little paint on the grass, it'll wash away. It's totally fine. The other thing I would recommend is that you pick a paint that is not permanent, unless your parents are willing to let you get a little dirty. Acrylic paint does not wash out of your clothes. It doesn't wash out of anything like your shoes or your couch. Don't do this in your living room, okay? Okay, so here what I'm going to do is just show you a couple of different things that Jackson Pollock used to do with his paintings. He experimented with getting the paint onto the paper or canvas without touching that surface. So he would drip and pour and splatter and smear all different things. And he would kind of try to experiment with different tools as well. He was really brilliant. And he thought a lot about the colors that he chose because of, different actions he was doing and different feelings and energies he was trying to get into his paintings. So we're just going to have a really exciting time testing out some of his techniques. I used an egg carton to pour my paint. I feel like it's a little easier to, just kind of dig it out. I poured it in here, and this is just tempera paint from Crayola, nothing special. I think I'm going to take a little bit of blue paint. I took like a little blob. I'm going to just put it in the cup here, and I'm going to make like a thinner blue paint. This one's really thin, but it's just enough where I can explore. I think I might want a little more. I don't want it to just be water. However, you can use a watery paint to do this. And if you don't have any paint, you can also use like food coloring. You can just drip it right into some water and make some colored water and do this as well, okay? So I just mixed it. I have this like blue water in here. And then it's good to experiment with thick paint versus thin paint. So to thin paint, you just add it into some water. Look at that nice pretty blue, okay? And we'll talk about the straw in a minute. So I think what I'll do is I'll do this first, and let's just try some dripping, okay? And I did some dripping, and I'm shaking my paintbrush because I got to get that water and paint to come off my brush onto the paper. I'm going to tilt this down so you can see it, okay? There's that, okay. I have this nice big paper, and you can use cardboard too, or now this is just dripping. I'm just dripping. You just keep re-dipping it and just dripping, and drips are fun, and you can, just kind of explore how to get the drips to do things. Do you want little drips, big drips? Do you want to try to make a pattern? It almost looks like stars, right? Something else you can do with a really watery paint is take your finger and put it under the paintbrush. If you're a second grader, you've already learned how to do this. And this is called splattering. Splattering is a smaller, really pretty mark making. Works really great with watercolor paints, and you're just flicking your finger from underneath going up like that. Just like that. You're not flicking your brush. You're flicking your finger up, okay? So I'll do that some over here. And you get really fast at it as you go. Now those are watery paint marks. What if I were to take a bigger brush? Maybe I'll dip it in 2 colors at once. Check this out. See, my red and my black are going on my big brush. You can also, Jackson Pollock also liked using paintbrushes that were actually dry and like hard, and he would scoop and splatter and smear. So I'm going to just try to do this. Look at my finger's going to get a little dirty. And I got these really cool smooshes. Ooh, I like that. Now, if I wanted to, if I had like a really big cup, I could try to go like this. If I'm outside, I take my brush, this big brush, and maybe look at my finger. Ooh. And I could take my brush and just go like that and fling it down. Watch, I'm going to lift it up and fling it down. But you don't want to touch the paper to do the real action painting. Now, if you were Pollock, you'd be up, you'd be moving around the whole thing. You'd come on this side, and you'd come over here on that side, and you'd go over to that side, and you'd be working across this whole surface. I'm just over here in my kitchen. Ooh, that was a good one. Do you see that? And I'm just having a good time. And you can really have a lot of fun. So that was a big brush. This was a small brush with some waterier paint. And the other thing you can do is you can kind of just dump it. And there you go. Now a straw, you can put it in the watery paint. You can drop it on. And then you could also, as long as you have a clean end, put it down here in the water and blow. I wonder if it would work with the thicker paint. Let's try. Oh, I needed a little more air for that. So I can try lots of really cool things. I'm starting to get some really nice looking shapes here, and I haven't painted any shapes. I've just been kind of being wacky. So this is pouring. Maybe I need to bang on it a little. And just have a little fun. And remember, you're not touching. You're not taking your paintbrush and going like that. That's regular painting. That's what we're not doing for action painting. There needs to be a movement, a motion, and a lot of really cool stuff going on. Oh, I love that splattering. So I tried pouring, I tried splattering, I tried blowing, I tried drizzling, and all those different things are just because I was experimenting with the amount of water and some different tools. I'm adding a little water into my pink here just to make it thinner. See if I can get a little more of a drizzle. The thinner it is, the more you can kind of explore how you can make it move across here. And Jackson Pollock was a really brilliant artist who figured out like exactly how much water you needed and what kind of tools worked best to make his paint do exactly what he wanted. So, and there was splatter painting, drizzle painting, pour painting, you name it. Action painting is quite a lot of fun, but it's a little messy. So I'm going to go wash my hands. You might have to wash more than just your hands. Maybe your feet got a little dirty. I just hope you had a great time. It's a really fun type of art to explore, and Jackson Pollock's paintings are just so beautiful. So have a great time. See you later. Bye.